All right, ladies and gentlemen, got a new little setup here. Gonna have a little bit of fun with this for such a horrific event, right? If it happened. And I felt like doing a little bit of nostalgia. So to my right is like the old television screen with JFK on there. I found a cool shot. And then I just was like, well, I'll just put a modern twist and I'll throw a flat screen on the wall, which makes absolutely no sense. But here I am. Let's talk about the JFK assassination. And I have already decoded. I did a 5-minute decode on the JFK assassination. But of course, I didn't involve any of the astrological maps. And I'm going to be showing that the cards of illumination, the system. So this decode really is an introduction to how to, if you're a fan of astrology or you want to learn how to do astrology, well, this is, going to be for you. And then how to integrate the cards of illumination, the tarot, into the astrological maps. This is my methodology that I've kind of come up with. I don't know if it's anything new, but this is what I do with some of my readings. And you can clearly see how many moving parts there are to get this whole thing synced up, to get it down, to sync up with this story. Whether it was real or not, I know some people don't think it was real, but here's the challenging part of stating that. None of us were there. And so it's really kind of difficult to say that statement with any, so you can't back it up. All you can do is make that opinion. But of course, there are some things on the world stage that are coming out, that will be starting to come out, that probably will be overturned, like that didn't really happen, or it happened a different way. So, but people really get shot. People get murdered all the time. Every day this happens. Presidents get taken out. Abraham Lincoln, another one, So, I'm going to do my best to break this down using the astrological maps, show you the cards. I mean, JFK was a Queen of Hearts. This was his birth card. And, this is the dreamer. Did he get taken out? If that was really the 1 + 1 = 2 fact, because he was doing things outside the box. And, those that had the hierarchy didn't like that, and they took him out. So anyway, and why I'm wearing the sunglasses, again, because I'm just remind you that you're in a movie, okay? You're inside of a movie. Got to have fun with this reality, the good, the bad, the ugly, the whole 9 yards. So let me this is my little prop. Let me get my eyes adjusted. Thanks everybody for joining in. This probably not going to be a big draw, because this is something that happened in 1963. Although most of the subscribers that I have, according to the analytics, are around 40 to 50 years young. So that's the average. Okay. But thanks everybody for supporting this channel. You're part of this family, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's change the music here, and let's get this party started. Let's see. Let me get some. I don't want to go too. Hang on. Okay. So the music I'm playing in the background is from an artist that I constantly use throughout a lot of my presentations. Please go support this artist. His name is Dream State Logic. I'll leave his link in the video description. If you like this kind of music, it's like space ambient kind of music. This is what I really listen to a lot when I decode, because it really kind of gets me in the zone. So I will be looking over here to my right. This is my second monitor. All of your comments are coming in here. And I'll do my best to take a little bit of commentary and touch base on some of you great decoders and what you have to say about all this. But ladies and gentlemen, again, John F. Kennedy Jr. right here, Queen of Hearts. And what's interesting about this card is NASA, the founding date of NASA is this card as well. It's pretty interesting. And, in the tarot, it's going to be the Queen of Cups. She's the dreamer. This is going to be card number 49. 49's tied to Down in a Hole. Okay? The Hollywood movie, the dreamer, the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Cups. Okay? And then on the day, November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas at 12:30 p.m., that's what the stats are. The story goes, JFK gets taken out in his Lincoln, and I think it was a Lincoln, and he gets taken out on this day. It's so interesting because, John F. Kennedy, he's known as Jack, and the Jack takes out the Queen. That's how valuable these cards are. The Jack is going to be card number 11. This is going to be card number 12. If you correlate that to the major arcana, the 12th card in the major arcana is the Hangman. And I'm going to show you this in the astrological maps, both JFK's chart and the assassination date, November 22nd, 1963. And then we have Lee Harvey Oswald. I can't remember his birthday off the top of my head, but he's the 4 of clubs, card number 17, which is tied to the star. And then he got taken out by another Jack Ruby, a 9 of clubs. And just like that, you have plutonium, or the 49, which again is the card for JFK, his tarot card. Card 49, there's Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay. So this is how deep I go with my connections. And this is why I feel I just can't see mankind pulling all this off with all the components, all the moving parts, everybody that would have to be involved. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. So I'm going to show you guys and gals a little bit about how this reality works with the astrological map, the tarot cards, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we got our great moderators in there, Stephen and Pamela. Stephen's like going gangbusters on the on the websites that we use as decoders. Is JFK Jimmy Carter? I doubt it. I mean, listen. Do people reincarnate into other bodies? Maybe. I mean, I think there's cloning involved. I'm absolutely convinced that takes place. You know, when I did the breakdown of O.J. Simpson, people were like, "Oh, that's Megan Clark is Nicole Brown." I don't buy it. A lot of people look like a lot of people. I just don't buy that. I think really Nicole Brown Simpson got murdered that night with Ron Goldman. People get murdered all the time, folks. Just because it's in the news, it doesn't mean it's real or it's not real. And the fact of that it's real. People really get murdered. So, I mean, you know, that's why I kind of turn off the news, but it's been the best experience of my life. Okay. All right, so let's jump into this. This is not going to be a very long presentation. Let me just see if I'm ready to rock and roll here. Okay. Just get this set up. Okay. So let's jump into this. And I'm going to, you know, this obviously is everything on the screen here. This chart is the chart of November 22nd, 1963. You know, the guns there, I would imagine, you know, that would be the case. But what's so interesting about this entire screenplay that happened is, you know, the lineup of the planets, the big cluster of planets up here in the 11th house. And then, you know, where Pluto and Uranus was in the 8th house, where the dragon's head of Rahu was. Let me get my cursor. Where the dragon's head of Rahu was here with Sirius in the 6th house, where Jupiter was in the sign of Pisces, the 12th zodiac sign, where the wound of Chiron was. These are all big time markers. And we have Kronos and the moon together here in the 1st house, okay, of the Magician. The Magician card sits in the 1st house. So that doesn't mean it's there to fool you, but I'm saying the Magician grabs the energy as above, so below. Okay. And you have this Cancer Capricorn axis right here. So very, very important information. And then the latitude, longitude of Dallas, Texas, very, very important as well. 32 degrees north, 96 degrees west. The 32 comes down, the 96 goes across. And that's going to give you 128 when you add it up. And that 128, you know, as fate would have it, I'm decoding crypto right now. That 821, the 812, the 128, they're big time markers in this reality, man, because this is all part of the screenplay, what we're moving towards. And here we are decoding the JFK assassination. So this really is the big card, the big tarot card standout. And you couldn't have picked a more in-tune card with this assassination. This card is directly through the cards of illumination, in the system of the cards of illumination. This card right here is exactly where it was supposed to be to have all this stuff line up for this assassination on November 22nd. You know, 12:30, You can reduce the 12 down to 3 and then the 30 and you get 330. And, 330 is tied to Uranus. 330 is tied to the planet Uranus. It's tied to uranium. Okay, when you add up the protons, 92 and 238, the atomic mass, you're going to get 330. Uranus is a big player in all this, and it's in the 8th house, and 8th house is Scorpio, and the cluster of energy, when he got taken out, is in the 11th house, but Scorpio is occupying that 11th house. So this is how you're going to read astrology, and I'm going to show all this to all of you that are interested in, like, how do I make sense of this astrology that is so in tune with this reality? And you got to, looking at your chart, this is how you do it. Okay, but let's start with where the heck's my? Hold on. Do I have this open? Hang on a sec, folks. Let me just get I thought I had this open. Hold on. Rookie mistake here. Hang on a sec, folks. A little delay. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, here we go. Back to the action. Okay. So let's start with the with the cards of illumination. Many of you have been asking, how do I read the cards? How do I read the charts? Okay, well, first and foremost, I need you to take into consideration that there is a chart that starts it all off. This is the 0 chart. Like when you popped out into this world, whenever you were born, this is where you'd start. This is going to represent your ego. So your card's going to be in here. Out of the 52 cards, matching the 52 weeks, 4 suits, 4 seasons, 13 cards per suit, 13 weeks per season, your card's going to be in here. And this is like a bingo chart as well. So they're all numbered. This is space 52. And then this is going to be space number 1. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, et cetera, et cetera. And it looks like this. Okay, this is the bingo chart for the cards of illumination. So knowing where your card is, your birth card, is important because that number is going to have some kind of direct narrative in your life. And then you're going to have the 2 charts side by side. This one is your ego. That's the 0 that I showed. And then we have the one to the left. This is called the master spirit. I call this the handler. Like when you walk your dog, you're the handler of the dog. Well, this would be your handler. And this is the boss of this side. Okay, so as I have shown, it's just very simple. You locate your card in the life spread here. Okay, your ego card. So we'll just use JFK for the example. JFK, he's in space number 7, okay? Space number 7. He sits in the Neptune line, okay? The dreamer. Neptune runs the screenplay, I feel. And then we just locate the same exact spot on this side, and we have the 10 of spades. Okay, so he has the 2 cards that he's dealt with as an individual is the 10 of spades that rules over the Queen of Hearts. Okay? And the 10s, if you like chess, the 10s are the rooks, the castles. Okay? That's how this works right here. So going back to the charts. So here is ground 0 with the spirit card. Hold on, I think that's the spirit side. No, yeah, ground 0. What am I talking about? So this is ground 0 right here. Okay? The life spread. And then JFK was 46 years young when he got taken out. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate, and this is what you do. You find, like if you want to read your cards, let me digress and show you, because I know some of you are going to ask. Let me see if I can find it. Aquarius Maximus. Here they are. Okay, so this is the website that I use This is a female. She's awesome. Aquarius Maximus. And if you go to this website, you can get all of the spreads of each year. Okay, so this one right here is going to tell you a different story. So you got to know how to read these, and you got to know like what cycle it is, what age it is. So it can get a little confusing. Like this is age 8, age 9. This would be solar spread number 10, 11, 12. So this is all in order, okay? And that's what we're dealing with right here. We're dealing with chart number 46. So this is the age he got taken out on. And so now what I want to do is I want to locate where his card is, his birth card. And here it is right there. Okay. And if we just go to what space it is, it's space number 46. Okay. That's how dialed in this assassination was, this story. Okay. And it's in the Mercury. Mercury's the messenger, and Jupiter. Okay. So these are going to have a lot of say in the astrological chart when you look at the breakdown of the assassination on November 22nd. So he gets taken out at age 46. He sits in space number 46. And when you go to ground zero, where it all started, he's got the 10 of swords, which is the 10 of spades, which is this one. You see? So this is the energy that was combining itself together on this assassination date of November 22nd. And this is the tarot card. That's the 10 of spades. It's card number 60. Okay? Tied to Feed the Wolf, tied to Neodymium, tied to Neo in the Matrix. But it's obviously very telling the story just by looking at that card. So as fate would have it, folks, this guy dies at 46, is in space 46, which is a match to this 10 of spades. Scripted reality. And then, when you look at where his Queen of Hearts sits in the life spread, as I told you, he sits in space number 7. Okay. He sits in the Neptune line. And when he got taken out at 46, you can also look at where that card is located at, what's occupying that card space, and it's the 9 of clubs, and it's the wounded warrior. This is card number 31. Okay, this is card number 31, and this is card number 22. 22 is tied to the Titans, titanium. This is one of the Jesus Christ cards. Okay, this is one of the Jesus Christ cards right here. So there's a lot of ways you can spin this, but this is how you read the charts for the cards of illumination. This is just one way. But again, the big standouts, Mercury and Jupiter. Okay, Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune. These are the big standouts for this guy getting taken out on November 22nd. And so then you go into astrology. Okay, now I'm going to be using Photoshop here, so I'm going to do my best to try to move these things around. But what you're looking at right here is you're looking at JFK's birth card, May 29th, 1917, and then the day he got taken out, November 22nd, 1963. The Jack takes out the Queen, okay? And it's all about the Hangman for this guy, okay? The 12th card. And he got shot in the head, and this is the brain. And so I'm going to start here just so you can see how crazily scripted this reality is, bringing numerology into astrology. Okay. So the planet Pluto, let me zoom in. The planet Pluto with with Uranus is in the 11th nakshatra, in the sign of Leo, in the 8th house. Now it's ruled by Scorpio, so it's got Scorpio energy all over it, and it also has a Leo energy of fire. Okay, so fire is very aggressive. Pluto is the rooster. If you watched my Rooster Decoded, a lot of you didn't watch it, but it is very important to watch that decode to know that the rooster it's the Punisher if you saw that show, but it's the vigilante. Okay? And Pluto is the ultimate desire. Pluto is the thermonuclear detonation. Pluto is murder, assassination. All that stuff is tied to Pluto. And then Uranus, of course, which may be running the whole show, is right there in a conjunct position, meaning it's just sitting there rubbing elbows with Pluto. and they're in the 11th nakshatra. And even though this is going to have its own meaning, Purva Falguni, that's the nakshatra. Even though this is going to have its own meaning, it's number 11, and the guy got shot in the freaking head, man, in the brain, and brain is 11, folks. Okay? 8 is the strength card in the tarot, and it's the house of Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So Pluto is literally in its domicile position, meaning it's at home. It loves being in this position. It does its very best in this position, along with Mars being there. And Uranus is a very eccentric, no rules, no boundaries kind of planet. The experience of Uranus is, and this is what we're going to be moving into the age of Aquarius. You know, that's why you're seeing these crossovers of people like not knowing what their identity is. This is because it's uranium energy coming in, but that's for a different story. But anyway, Uranus is very eccentric. So when you bring no rules, no holds barred, and eccentric and electric, and you add Pluto to that, which is, you know, a very thermonuclear, it's a detonation, a bomb going off, a gun going off, and you put it in that 11th position and it's matched to brain. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? It's a no-brainer. That's what this is saying right here. Now, this house of Leo, this house of Scorpio, okay, being occupied by Leo, we have to now locate where is Scorpio at, because Scorpio rules this house. Well, we would just come 3 houses over right here, and here's Scorpio occupying the house of Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, okay? Guns get fired and bullets get fired through the air. And Scorpio, this energy right here, folks, all this energy, you got the sun here, you got Mercury here. Let me move these cards out of the way. You got Venus here, and you got Mars here. All this energy, and you got Black Moon Lilith in the background there. All this energy in this 11th house of air, Aquarius, and it's being utilized through Scorpio. Now, if you watched some of my decodes on some of these serial killers, you would have saw the breakdown of Ted Bundy. And guess what the majority of Ted Bundy's energy is at? In the sign of Scorpio. He had a ton of energy in the sign of Scorpio. It was down here in the lower houses. Ted Bundy when he was born. Scorpio. Okay? Scorpio is like, you know, Jesus showing up and he's got the gun in his hand, knocking at your door. All right? That's what this energy is. And, you know, keep in mind, this is the 11th house. And he got taken out on November 22nd, which is the 11th card. The Jack of Hearts took him out in the sign of Scorpio / Aquarius. And of course, these are in cahoots together because Pluto and Uranus are occupying the 8th house. So we would just go back over to the 8th sign and then we just follow the leader. So now, since it's in the 11th house, where's Aquarius at? Because Aquarius rules this house. Well, we come down here to the 2nd house where Aquarius is. And what do we have here? Oh my, it's Chiron. Okay, Chiron, the wounded warrior. Chiron is the wound. Okay, in the sign of Aquarius in the 2nd house, and this is a Taurian energy, so we're going to check Taurus in a second here. But obviously, this is a very big marker. X marks the spot. 24th nakshatra. The letter X is tied to that. This is how you properly decode when you synchronize all these kinds of things. I can take a sip of water. So the wound of John F. Kennedy, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, is in the sign of Aquarius on November 22nd. Aquarius is up here, but it's being occupied by Scorpio. Scorpio has the sun. It has Mars, the god of war, Venus, immortality, and the Ankh, and then Mercury. And Mercury is the messenger. So what is this saying? JFK, the messenger, got taken out by the Jack. JFK was the queen. They took him out. They had the Jack take him out. This is the 11th card. Aquarius is the 11th sign. The wound of Chiron is in that 11th sign. So you could easily take the Jack and bring the Jack down here, and you could take a look at this, and obviously it's clear. Chiron, the wound in the 11th house, in the 11th sign, and he gets taken out on the November 22nd day, which is the 11th card. See how this works? The Jack's this Jack, by the way, is if you watched my Astro Alchemy, I put all the cards and they wrap all the way around this astrological map, all the cards, while the Jack of Hearts naturally sits in the house of Aquarius. So he would sit up here naturally. But because Aquarius is down here, I can bring him down here and we can see what's inside this house. It's the freaking wound of Chiron. Now, what's interesting is let's take a look at JFK's chart over here, right? 1917, May 29th. Where's his Chiron? Well, it's in the sign of damn Pisces. It's in the sign of Pisces, and Pisces is the hangman. Got taken out. He got taken out, folks. I mean, this guy, as soon as he incarnated, as soon as he was born, this was his chart. And his screenplay was he was going to get assassinated in 1963. Make no mistake about it. Showing this MLK, so many Gandhi, they're all screenplayed out, folks. You're living inside of a movie, and your life is predestined already before you ever incarnated. Okay? That's exactly how this reality works. I mean, the wound of Chiron in the sign of Pisces, in the 12th zodiac sign, in the sign of Virgo. So we can come back over here like, what's occupying the 6th house over here in the assassination? Well, it's freaking Rahu. Here's my Rahu. The north node of the moon, which is kind of linking towards the ultimate desires in life. So he's got his wound in the 6th house. And in the 6th house, during the assassination, is the ultimate desire of Indra, the king of the gods, the king of the Asuras. It's Rahu, the north node of the moon. In the sign of Gemini, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So where's Mercury? We go back up here. It's in the sign of Scorpio in the 11th house. Where's the 11th zodiac sign? Down here, where's the wound of Chiron? The 11th card is there that he got taken out on. It goes in both places. This is just how you correlate these cards to the astrological maps. Now, what about Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter, the largest planet, these all have a hand in it, by the way. They all work as a unit, okay? All of them. Jupiter, the largest planet, the expansion of the 3rd house here during the astrological map of the assassination, he was in the sign of Pisces, okay? He was in the sign of Pisces, so you come over here. Where was John F. Kennedy, Pisces? It was in his 6th house where his Chiron wound was. Well, Jupiter is the ruler of the 9th house. Well, where's the 9th house at? Well, it's up here. It's occupying the 12th house, which is tied to the hangman, which is tied to Pisces, where his wound is. And then we have the south node of the moon, K2, where it all starts, and you get this number 20. And this is, in the tarot, it's the judgment card. So is this judgment for JFK? Like, we don't know what happened. If he really did get taken out, we have no idea what the hell was going on behind the scenes, what he was doing, how he was rolling. But it doesn't matter because the celestials have their say in all this. And the mighty Jupiter, ruling over Sagittarius, is giving energy to K2, and K2's taking that energy and it is shooting it right across into the 6th house, which is the sign of Virgo. This is carbon now, because carbon is the 6th element, and it's in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury's the messenger. The messenger got taken out. Okay, that's exactly what happened here with all this energy. JFK was absolutely, before he even came out of the womb, man. You know, if you look at his chart, bring his Pluto over here. His Pluto is in the sign of Gemini, which again is right here, okay? The ultimate desire, Jupiter shooting that arrow over to Rahu. They all play a part. They all work as a team. They all work as a unit, these celestials. While JFK in 1917, where is his Pluto? In the sign of Gemini. And folks, the crazy part about this is on September 11th, when the Twin Towers got taken down, Rahu was right here in this 6th nakshatra called Ardra, the howling god of destruction. This guy, I'm sorry, he didn't have a choice. He was officially going to get taken out no matter what. In 1963, this exactly says it all right here. This tells the story. This is the map of how you read this kind of stuff. And, you know, when you look at his 8th house, which of course that's Scorpio, right? So his 8th house is occupied by Taurus. It's just flipped from Scorpio. Scorpio's in the 2nd house. The wound of Chiron's in the second house over here when he got taken out. So I'm gonna compare charts. Over here it's bare, but look at all the energy he's got in his 8th house of Scorpio. He's got the sun, he's got Venus, he's got Mercury, he's got Jupiter, and he's got Mars. He pretty much has almost every single planet, with the exception of Jupiter, in the sign of his 8th house of Scorpio, and it's in Taurus, the bull. So Taurus is there, right? Taurus giving that stable energy, but Scorpio is going to rule that house because it's its own domicile house. And it's right across the way in the second house. They just swap places. So this is definitely telling the story right here. The 8th house is a big marker. The sign of Pluto, Uranus, all the energy here, these have to shift into the 8th sign, which is in the house of Aquarius. And you now have all this energy. And like I said, Ted Bundy, he had like 5 planets in his house of Scorpio. Okay. That guy was destined to be a serial killer. I know some of you will not agree with that. That's totally fine. But I say Ted Bundy didn't have a choice. His mind was not his own. He incarnated to take people out. Maybe the people he took out had it coming to them. Maybe they were bad people in their past life. Maybe he was too. But imagine having to have that karma though. Imagine having to have that script. He was a super smart guy, good looking guy, had all these traits, but he took people out. But I mean, just the living on the edge, on the razor's edge, man, must have been so tough. Like I would never want to code like that, but as fate would have it, the guy was being used. But this is definitely an easy chart to look at, and the assassination of JFK. And again, the big marker, I say, like he got shot in the head, his brain got splattered all over the car. Pluto in that 11th nakshatra with Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Right across the way is Aquarius, where the wound of Chiron is. The 11th card of Jack of Hearts, that is the day of November 22nd, sits in the domicile house of Aquarius. I mean, come on. This is so scripted right here. It's ridiculous. And for man to get all these placements like this, like choosing this stuff, I just don't see it. I just don't, unless they got some kind of, supercomputer that has been around for hundreds of thousands of years that no one knows about. Like I could definitely buy into that notion, but I'd have to see how it works. But as far as it stands right now, ladies and gentlemen, mankind's being used. I don't see it any other way. One day you're going to die, folks. One day your astrological chart may be broken down. Maybe some of you are going to here to save the world. Maybe some of you are going to be a JFK guy or somebody like a female president or something. Some of you have big shoes to fill, right? You're all living out your screenplay. This guy lived out his screenplay, no exception. And there's so many other nuggets to this. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that I could have brought out into this decode, but I really wanted to kind of keep it short. The cards don't lie. Obviously, the 10 of Swords in his space when he died, pretty easy to see here, right? Pretty easy to see. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The JFK assassination. Short and sweet, pretty easy. I really wanted to keep it basic. Like I said, a lot of you have been asking, like, can you teach me how do you have a course? I mean, the course I have coming out, it's not going to be like that, okay? Because I'm trying to get the course to be where you can decode your children. This is for the kids, man. I'm doing it for the kids, for the future generations. I'm not doing it for, the grown adults. Although I am secondary, but the kids are first, because this is the future. I don't even have any kids, but I mean, this is for the benefit of mankind. Because that's just how I roll, man. It's like, you want to help the world out. Maybe some of you are like that. You want to help the world out. But, you're living through a screenplay. JFK lived through a screenplay. Pretty easy to see through the astrological map. I could do it all day with any event. I can show you the breakdown. But that's how you properly read astrology. You got to jump around the houses and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. So let's jump into some of your comments here. And let's see what we got. a lot of Trump. I've broken down Trump so many times. I've done the Chosen One. I've done Trump and Lucifer. A lot of information on the Trumpster. That's right. So Errant Protocol says all the world is a stage. So yeah, let me just show all this to you because of that comment. Let's go to get rid of these. The Game of Life 59. William Shakespeare 59. Do I need to say any more? This is the guy who said all the world's a stage. Okay. Pretty easy. I mean, these people aren't sitting down trying to mock anybody. You know, these crazy notions that people have come up with. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The decoding the JFK assassination. The Jack takes out the Queen. Gets shot in the brain. Brain is 11. This is the 11th card. Happened on this card's day. I mean, you know, on the 22nd of November, 22. It's tied to titanium, the Titans. 79 is the 22nd prime number. 79 is gold. See, when somebody gets taken out, there's an energetic exchange. See, I feel that when people are in these really prolific placements on the stage, like if you're in the limelight, you're collecting a lot of energy. A lot. And it gets stored up in the body. And when you get taken out or when you just die, that energy, it's like your energy goes somewhere. That's food for whatever's feeding off of this reality. That's how I see how it works. It's all about death and regeneration down here, folks. There's no escaping that. So you just got to make lemonade out of it instead of complaining, bickering, and pointing the finger. You know what? Somebody made a comment, and I think somebody actually caught an error of mine. Why did I have the freaking Queen of Hearts? So somebody commented that JFK was born on May 29th, and you are correct. It is the Three of Clubs. Why did I have, and I should have known that because, why did I have the Queen of Hearts? So I did have an error in here, folks. So big shout out to Signature Sentences. Why do I have the Queen of Hearts here? I don't know why I have the Queen of Hearts. So that is an error on my part. It is the Three of Clubs, which is the 16th card in the deck. So it would be the right here. So this is my error. So why did I have it as the Queen of Hearts? I don't know why. There's a reason why I had the Queen of Hearts there. I just don't know why I chose it. Maybe because I thought it was July 29th. Maybe. Okay. Well, let me go back to the charts then. I'm gonna summarize the Three of Clubs. Let me show this again. I'm going to correct my whole entire, well, not my whole presentation because I don't need to correct it all, but I'll show you guys and gals my correction here. Let me get the Three of Clubs in here. So hang on, folks. It doesn't change the outcome. It's actually just going to make it stronger. Huh. Okay. All right, let me go back into the reading. All right. So if you're still here, thanks for sticking with me. And let's have another go with this. So the Jack takes out the Three of Clubs. So JFK, the Three of Clubs, which is card 16. Okay, but the 3 of clubs is going to sit. This is the assassination now. The 3 of clubs can sit in this 3rd house where Jupiter's at, Jupiter ruling Pisces. And just take into consideration that Pisces is the hangman, and we locate Pisces in the astrological map of JFK, and we have the wound of Chiron right there. So we instantly and automatically can see that, you know, his card is tied to the 6th house, and during his birth, it's tied to the 3rd house, which is Sagittarius, which is Jupiter owned. So Jupiter really is the big takeaway here. And we have the thrust of Rahu here in the 3rd house, the 3 of clubs. The natural placement of the 3 of clubs is going to be also in the sign of Gemini. Okay, because this is going to be card number 16. But the third house, we have the sign of Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. This is going to be the 3. The 3 sits in the 3rd house, as well as the sign of Gemini. His Gemini is up here. So this is card 16. Card 16 is going to occupy the 3rd house of astrology, if you watch my Astro Alchemy. And this obviously has its own say in this, because what is up here in his house of Gemini, where his birth card is? Well, there's his Pluto. So the error that I made, yes, for sure. I own up to that, absolutely. The Jack stands. I mean, the assassination is the biggest takeaway of them all. The Jack taking him out, for sure. But the Jack obviously took out the 3 of clubs. And you know what's interesting is this card, if you watched Alice in Borderland, the 3 of clubs is the Game Master card. This is the card tied to Lucifer too, by the way. But the 3 of clubs naturally is going to be sitting in the house of Gemini, and the Gemini is where the Pluto placement is, in the 6th nakshatra, in the howling god of destruction. And you have this Rahu Ketu axis right here, the 3 and the 9, which is a very big deal here. And when you come over to the assassination, and we move the 3 of clubs in the sign of Gemini, you can clearly see Jupiter in the 12th house, running its energy across through Ketu into Rahu and into the birth card of John F. Kennedy Jr. or John F. Kennedy. I'm not sure what I say, Jr. John F. Kennedy, the 3 of clubs. And remember that his wound is in that 6th place, that 6th house during his birth. So we could just put the wound here, and you could see that he was destined to get taken out. You know, the archer, the subtleties, the archer. The arrow shoots across, but Jupiter having a big hand in all this. But, you know, again, the big standout to me is this Jack of Hearts here in the 11th position in the sign of Scorpio. All this cluster of energy here to take out JFK. And then coming down here in the 2nd house of Aquarius, where the wound of Chiron was. This is the house of Aquarius. So the big marker was the Jack of Hearts. My arrow was the Queen of Hearts, but the 3 of clubs obviously fits perfectly in here, because this is where he got taken out through the desires of Rahu here in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the messenger. They took the messenger out. This is JFK's birth card. So thank you, Signature Sentences, for pointing that out. I'm glad you caught that. I have no idea how I actually got that wrong. I probably was looking. It was probably late, and I was looking at July, because the next closest card for the Queen of Hearts was July 29th. So that was my error. But thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate that. Yeah. That 3 of clubs, man. Hopefully, so if you watch I shouldn't even say that. If you watch the beginning and you kicked off, I got the Queen of Hearts wrong, but it was obviously the Jack of Hearts. And here's the fascinating part, folks. Here's the fascinating part. I think I covered this in my JFK Decoded. So JFK, 3 of clubs. He gets taken out by Lee Harvey Oswald, the 4 of clubs, and then Lee Harvey gets taken out by the 9 of clubs by Jack Ruby. Look at it. Look at these clubs. Look at this. JFK, 3 of clubs, Lee Harvey Oswald. Right after that, the 4 of clubs, and then Jack Ruby takes him out in the 9 of clubs position. Jack Ruby. The 9s are the bishops. If you play chess, the nines are the bishops. And the 9 of clubs is the wounded warrior card, which again sat in the position of where JFK was. Really, really fascinating. Let me look at this. I want to look at this chart one more time. Where is this 3 of clubs? Saturn, Neptune. Well, so he gets taken out in space. His 3 of clubs is in space number 21 on the Cards of Illumination, and Aquarius equals 21, and the Jack in November 22nd was through Scorpio in the House of Aquarius. So many synchronicities. I mean, I could just decode the hell out of that. Even with an error like that, still you can. There's no doubting this. Like, you can see how all this stuff kind of correlates together and makes a lot of sense. All right, so let me go back to your comments. What's the best site for reading regular playing cards? Well, it's allinthecards.com. That's my friend Sharon's website. That's where I would start. It's allinthecards.com. Have I done a decode tied to JFK about King of Hearts? I'm not sure. Zaza, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Thanks, Steven, for putting that website. So Steven's got there. Let me just pin that. If you're interested in reading your card, I'm going to pin the message. Steven put it up. I pinned. If you're looking at for your card, just go to the top to itsallinthecards.com. Click on that and just go type in your month and day, and you can read about your card. And I would bet 90 to 95% of the information that you're going to read is accurate. The Native American cards are crazy. Yeah. I love the medicine deck. Oh, who do I think the King of Hearts is in the JFK narrative? I don't have to look it up. I mean, the King of Hearts is card 13, which is, if you watched my previous couple decodes, I showed that, that's tied to the King of Cups, which is card 50. What's up, Ryan? What am I currently using for the Vedic charts? I'm using Astro. Here, let me put it in here. Let me just show you because it's going to be easier. So I use this website called astro-seek.com. And when you get here, you click on this and you got to scroll down to sidereal astrology. Okay, so again, you log on and then you come here and you scroll down to sidereal, you click on that, and then you just scroll down a little bit and you plug in your parameters right here. Okay, and that's it. Away you go. Pretty easy to do. Okay, this is the website I use, and then I use astro.com, which is based out of Switzerland. This website right here, I use this one for tropical. It also does sidereal as well. What I like about this one is you can pull up Sirius and Ceres and Pallas and the asteroids, and you can get a deeper meaning with some of these extras that you don't really see in some of these other websites. Can I decode Shinzo Abe? I don't even know who that is. Oh, Jackie's a king of hearts. Thanks, Bobby. How's the weather down here? Amazing. I was out in the sun today. I was out on the beach. The beaches aren't so great because the seaweed's kind of out of control, so the water's not as great as it once was, but the beaches and the weather's been amazing. It's always very consistent. It rains a little bit, tropical rain, but it's pretty badass. Murder is 83 and 38 in reverse. Well, how about this? If you go and you study the golden ratio numbers, since we're talking about it, I'll show you. So this is the golden ratio website that I use. It's called Cibidium.com. Here, I'll put that in the chat so if you want to click on that. There it is. This is where I do my decoding for the golden ratio, but if you go, we know that the 53 and the 95, these two elements right here, make up the I and then the am. Okay, I am. It spells out I am. 53 and 95 is 148, and then you're going to go to Samarium, and that's going to be Life is But a Dream. Okay, so we're living inside of a dream, a movie, et cetera, et cetera. But if you take the numbers and you plug them in here, 53. Sorry, wait a minute. Actually, I got to get this website here. This is another one I use. We got to go 53 digits into the string of the golden ratio. So here they are, counting the 1 point. The 53rd digit is 8. Then we have the 95, right? And the 95 is the third digit. So we have the 3. Whoops. And then we have the 8. And you have 83. So 83 and 38 are tied to the I am. So if you want to correlate that to murder, well, I mean, I did murder by the numbers. That I broke down the Sandra Bullock movie. Broke it all down, showing you how those people were being used to create the movie. 83 and 38. 83 is tied to bismuth. It's tied to strontium. It's tied to chlorine, which is the 17th element, which is the star. Okay, that's why we're all being used as movie stars down here, actors and actresses. Trump is a 3 of diamonds, hottie. Trump is a 3 of diamonds. Donald John Trump has the cards of Christmas. He's got the 3 of diamonds and the 6 of hearts. The 6 of hearts is the 6 of hearts. This is his spirit card. This is the card of Christmas. And then his birth card is the 3 of diamonds. And you have 36, 63. You know how big 36 is, right? 36. 3 plus 6 is equals 9. I showed how big this was in my last decode I put out yesterday on Crypto Kingdom, which to me was, I mean, I'm showing people like this is what potentially we're moving towards. It doesn't seem like we're going to be moving away from it. Did I do a show on Mandela Effect? I was on Chris Anantra's podcast with Sean, if that's what you're talking about. And we were talking a little bit about a Mandela Effect stuff. Jesus is 36. While Jesus Christ is 36. Jesus is 18. Christ is 18. And they're going to equal a 36. This is the card tied right to Jesus and Christ. And let me show you the picture of the tarot for that so you can see exactly what kind of energy it is. The 5 of clubs is the identity of the sun. Okay, it's going to sit in the house of Leo, which is ruled by the sun. And it's tied to the 27th card in the tarot, which is tied to Ensof. It's tied to the word golden. It's tied to Uranus. It's tied to... So Jesus is 18. Christ is 18. And then this card converts into the 5 of Wands. And this is card number 27. 27 in numerology is tied to the word heaven. It's tied to the word golden. It's tied to the word Uranus. It's tied to the word religion. What do you think these people are doing, man? They're fighting. Well, no, it's this God. It's that God. Folks, it's a freaking Ponzi scheme, man. When are you going to figure that out? All the religions, they're all the same. They're just packaged differently. And it's futile to try to sit there and prove your point. If you go do your religion and you like religion, just go do it. Don't need to go defend it. But if you're somebody who thinks that that's the only way, well, I would really, really ask you to consider your standpoint. Because you haven't done enough research. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, people say, well, it's Christianity, it's just... Well, I mean, just use your verses from your Bible. It says the road that's paved into destruction is broad and spacious, and many are finding it. If you want to just bring theology, it's people that are, okay, so what's broad? What is the broad and spacious religion on the world stage? Christianity. So if you want to go tit for tat on religion, I'll just pull that out and just, well, then you go ahead and try to narrate that. Narrate your way around that. If the most popular religion in the world is based upon Christianity, well, then that's the broad and spacious road that I want nothing to do with. I don't need a religion to be a good person. I just do it. To me, it's too dangerous. That's just how I look at it. If there's anything that's dangerous, it's follow. Because, like and then you use the whole story of the Christ. Jesus says, be no part of the world. Well, that means every freaking thing in this world, be no part of it. That means all the religions. That means all the books that were produced during this reality. Be no part of it. Okay, cool. I'm not going to be any part of it. That's the best advice that you can get out of that spell book. No part of the world. I don't want nothing to do with it. Just leave me alone. No state, government. You guys do you. I don't care. Religion, no part of it. I want no part of it. That's what it means. But people don't look at that kind of stuff. It's just, why you're cherry picking? Go study the whole thing and then get your context. Oh, Shinzo Abe's prime minister who got assassinated as well. I'll consider it. I have so much content that I have in the works. I have so many requests from people. You can imagine how many people request for me to do decodes. Yeah, when you do, the Christ is tied to oxygen for sure, the 888, because Jesus in the golden ratio cipher, it's 80808. 8080808, yeah. Jesus is 5 letters. He has the 5 of clubs card. It's the most popular name. That's why I don't like using these names. It's been butchered. If there is such a thing, all that stuff's been butchered. And again, here's my final answer. You are Jesus. Well, now what are you going to do? Well, I do a decode on Mandela effect. I already kind of did. I broke down Mandela, Nelson Mandela. Someone asked me, I did a short bullet point spread on Mandela effect. It just doesn't interest me. There's just so much content with Mandela effect. For me, I went right to the source. Where did it start? Nelson Mandela. So I started to break him down a little bit, and there it was. Go study Nelson Mandela. And here's my take. I'll just give you my take on Nelson Mandela. I mean, the Mandela effect. The reason why Mandela effect is happening is because we're moving into a different age, and everything's going haywire. You're getting all this activation and these things happening energetically, and it's funneling into this reality, and it's going haywire. And Uranus is an electrical age. Pisces is not. It's a watery age. It's different. So you're getting a crossover between water and air, and it's causing a lot of chaos. To me, that's why the Mandela effect is happening. All right, so what is the difference between sidereal and Vedic astrology? Okay. All right. I guess I'll take a few questions. Let me just show you. Vedic astrology is your root chakra. Tropical astrology is your crown. You start here and you work your way up as the serpents intertwine. This is your prana and chi going up. Okay? The reason why tropical is at the top is because tropical is 24 degrees, 23 or 24 degrees into the future. It is not in real time. So, if you go to this website right here called stellurium.web or -web.org, and you get the ecliptic, the imaginary line, draw the constellation maps, get it at nighttime. This red line right here is the ecliptic, the imaginary line that the constellations, the 12, including Ophiuchus, sit on, and the sun and planets all revolve around. So, for instance, a lot of people say Pluto is in Aquarius. Well, not according to astronomy, because Pluto is located right here in the sign of Capricorn. It's not anywhere near Aquarius. Okay? It's in Capricorn. And it just got there. And, what does this mean for all of us? Well, Capricorn is an earth sign. It is ruled by Saturn, which is the formation of time. This means Pluto coming into Capricorn, it is going to remove the dead wood in the span of time. It's going to remove the unnecessary things in this reality. It is going to remove empires. It's going to bring to light all of the truth of the matter, because Capricorn represents Earth. So it's a very stable energy. Pluto's there. If Pluto was in Aquarius, it would be completely jamming up all the electronics, and it doesn't fit the narrative. Aquarius is all about technology. We're moving into that age. If Pluto was in Aquarius, the age would be shit. It would be crazy. It's in Capricorn because it's there to remove the things of the earth. And this is definitely a marker in my book of what it means to be moving into transhumanism, folks. Whatever that looks like. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the sense of what you probably think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen the way people think it's going to happen. But I'm going to tell you right now, Uranus is an electrical sign. Uranus is right here in the sign of Taurus. This is where the sun's at right now in Taurus. But you're going to get people saying, well, it's June and it's Gemini. No, it's not. The sun is in Taurus right now. Okay? This is the map of the stars right now of astronomy. Do you see the sun anywhere near Gemini? No. So what happens is the root is sidereal, and then we move through the precession of the equinoxes. We go 24 degrees forwards, and we have the crown. We're moving towards that. So when I do my readings, I use both side by side because they both have their say in it. But the true aspects of the stars is tied to Vedic sidereal astrology. Okay? And, Uranus is in Taurus right now. Uranus is setting up the structure for Aquarius, because Taurus is structure. Okay? So Uranus being inside the sign or moving into, it's like right there on the bridge of Aries and Taurus. It's setting up the structure for the age of Aquarius. That's what it's doing, because it's going to rule Aquarius and Taurus and Aries. These are the planting of the seeds and then the cultivation of those. Structure, forming structure. Uranus is going to rule the cryptocurrency age. What do you think Taurus is? Taurus is the bull who runs Wall Street, the largest organization that has the most currency through it. Wall Street, Taurus energy, the bull. Okay? Even the Pleiades are here. I mean, but this is all telling the story. This is such a big marker. And if you follow tropical, it just doesn't fit the narrative. All right, well, that's my long answer for that. Telepathy is a very interesting, I think we're moving towards that. You know, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Uranus is a planet of electronics. Uranus is the ruler of technology. That is why the internet came in. That is why we couldn't do these broadcasts 10 years ago like this. Like OBS, and I'm using OBS, and I got my mixer, I got my music. How are we getting it? Because of technology. Uranus is an electrical energy. It's a dominant that's why you see electrical cars coming on the scene. Because Pisces is all about fossil fuels and the earth, because Pisces is the representation of that, the clay. But we're moving out of that, and we're moving into the electrical age, which is why this thing is the dominant piece in most people's lives. It's just the natural movement of what we're going to be doing, and that's just the way it's going to be until we move into Capricorn, the age of Capricorn, and that's going to be ruled by Kronos, and that's going to be a much different time because that's an earth sign. So all of us that were born in, most of you, I'd say every one of you here, you were born in the Piscean age. And the Piscean age, the job of the Piscean age was to say the church is the authoritative figure. Well, not anymore. That's why people are having these awakenings, because the energy coming in, the activation coming in is saying, well, wait a minute, there's more to the story than what I was told 10 years ago. There's more to the story of what I was told 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I had no idea this stuff existed. And the stuff that I'm using was like taboo. The church didn't want you to use these layers of decoding, because then they'd realize they would lose their grip on controlling you. That was the job of the church during the Piscean age. That's why the Christ said, I'm going to send my angel to the church. But you can clearly see, if you watched my Crypto Kingdom, my last one, I said and I showed with supporting evidence that the kingdom of the Christ is going to be Aquarius. Make no mistake about it. And Uranus is going to rule that. And it is nothing like the Piscean age at all. Not even in the least bit. It's going to be much different. So if you think technology is just going to stop and we're going to go back to shitting in outhouses with a flashlight, you got another thing coming. Because that's not going to happen. It's not. We are going to go through this age whether you like it or not. So I say you make lemonade out of it. Because you don't control it. Just like in 1963 when JFK got taken out, Piscean age. Much different scenario in 1963. Go all the way back to 1963. Go drive one of those cars. Would you want to go back and drive an old car like that has the big ass steering wheels and gets shitty gas mileage and doesn't have much horsepower, and it's loud and the windows don't roll up all the way and you got to manually roll the windows up? Do you want to go back to rotary phones on the wall with cords? Do you want to go back to using a map, a hardcover map? Do you want to go back to 8-track players? I don't think you do. I think each and every one of you have conformed to technology, and you'd be very bitter if it got pulled from you. So the only thing now that looms into the future is how far down the rabbit hole are we going to go with this advancement of technology? That's it. And I just don't see any end to it. I'm looking, Minority Report and all these things I've talked about. Like either there's going to be a separation and a deciding factor. I'm kind of postulating around, I'm kicking this idea around of, the hourglass, which I talked about in my last decode, and there may be a top and a bottom to the hourglass. One's heaven and one's hell. That's very possible. And if you level up, you get to go up a level and you get out of the hellish regions. Otherwise, you get stuck and you have to go through the crazy chaos that's coming, because it's coming. The earth it can't sustain itself the way it's going. Heather says she wants to go back to simplicity. See, I'm as simple as it gets. I'm a minimalist, but I like my technology. I wouldn't want to give up my computer. I wouldn't want to give up my cell phone and my hard drive. Do you realize how valuable this little external solid state hard drive is? You realize how valuable this is? You go all the way back to the 1970s when I was born, and you'd have photo albums, and they take up a shit ton of room. You got to take the picture, get them developed. You got to go to the store, get them developed. Now you just take it with your phone and you put it on this thing stores up, 1 terabyte of information. Everything's being condensed down and getting smaller. We're going quantum. Unless something massively changes, folks, and we go back to shitting in an outhouse with a flashlight, I just don't think many of you would be fans of that. I think the majority of you would really not like life. I really do. Okay. All right, I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to end this transmission because this was supposed to be about JFK. Now we're getting to what's your question? That's fine. Ryan's asking how about your Chiron. When you got it? Okay, look, you got to pull your chart up. If you're interested in knowing what your wound is, your Chiron wound, you get your chart and you find Chiron. And you find out what house Chiron is in. The majority of the information is in the house it's in, not necessarily the zodiac sign, but you have a double meaning because you're going to have the house it's in and then the zodiac sign that's giving its energy through that house. And then if it's not in its default position, then you got to look and find out who is the actual ruler of that house by default. So there would be sometimes there's 3 energies at play. The house it's in, the zodiac sign it's in, and then the house ruler. We all know JFK is a conspiracy. Well, Yogi Vibe, here's my take on that. You can't prove it. I just sat here for a half hour, 40 minutes showing you the astrological map. That doesn't mean that it's going to be absolute. And all that matters is what you believe. But what I can say here is you have absolutely no proof that it was a conspiracy. Because we weren't there. It was happening in 1963. We're not there, folks. And even if you lived in 1963, like my parents did, but they weren't in Dallas, Texas, witnessing the motorcade go around that circle. All right, so I'm going to do something fun really quick for all of you since you're all here and I appreciate you. And this has nothing to do with with JFK, but since we're here and I want to give back, and I appreciate each and every one of you being here, I'm going to let's use the tarot because we can go with the pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick reading for each astrological sign. How about that? Everybody want to do that? I'm sure it'll be a big fat yes for everybody. Jane says it's a mannequin. Well, I watched the footage hundreds of times. I just don't agree. First, you'd have to be an expert on how blood splatters. Then you'd actually have to go test run that to see how a head would explode. Then you'd have to see where the gunshot came from. There's so many factors involved. You're looking at a grainy footage. I mean, I'll just agree to disagree with you, Jane, on that. I personally, I really think JFK did get taken out. That's my take on it. People get murdered all the time. Yeah, Jane, I watched that footage hundreds of times. It's just too grainy. It's not clear enough to really define. And I'm not an expert in head explosions with a gun. So you take that into consideration. We can speculate all we want, but the final answer is none of us were there, and there's no way we could tell. We weren't there. So that's it. That's the 1 + 1 = 2 truth. None of us were there, and that's it. The shot was from within the car, maybe. Some people think it was from under the sewer cap on the ground. I don't know. Okay. All right. So let's do the zodiac signs as a gift to all of you great decoders. Actually, how many? I have an idea. Hold on. Let me see how many people. $200. Okay. I have an idea. Umbrella Man. All right, so let's start with the cards here. You guys and gals ready? I'm going to use the tarot deck, and I'm going to pull a card for each zodiac sign. Now, keep in mind, you're all 12. So if you're new to this, like, well, what do you mean? You're all 12 zodiac signs. So if somebody asks you, like, what's your zodiac sign? The answer would be, I'm all 12. And you're going to probably get a deer in the headlights look. How can I be all 12? Well, because you have all 12 houses. When you pull up your astrological map, even if you don't have any planets in that house, you still have that house. That is part, and it's your eye, right? The zodiac wheel is your eyeball, the iris of your eye. 12 tribes of Judah. So you're all 12. Yeah, you're going to have dominant energy with the placement of the celestials. Conjunctions, then you get into opposition, squaring, what degrees they're at, you know. So there's that. But if you, the sun, obviously the sun's kind of your spirit. And then Rahu and Pluto and those are like your ultimate desires. I say Pluto's your ultimate desire. What do you really want? Okay. All right, so I've shuffled these cards a million times. Not that many times, but almost a million times. And so I'm going to start with Aries, and I'm going to go all the way to Pisces. Okay? So whatever sign you resonate with, remember, you have, where's your Venus, your Mars, the masculine, feminine, representing, your testosterone and your estrogen, love life. If you have a lot of dominant energy in your 7th house, marriage and partnerships, business partnerships, that's going to be a factor. Your sun, your spirit, your moon is your mind. Your moon is your emotions. So depending on what house you're going to take into consideration here, I'm going to do all 12. Well, if you look at your astrological map and you got a lot of planets in one certain house, well, then you should take into consideration the energy of what I'm about to pull here. But if you're just going to simply go off of the basic fundamental of what's your sun sign, that's so basic. I mean, it's cool, but the rising sign has a lot to do with who you are. Okay? Well, let's start off with so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 12 cards, and we're going to just pull one card per zodiac sign, and I'm going to do my best to interpret what's coming for you. Like, what kind of energy should you be paying attention to? What's your message? I'm the messenger. I'm going to be the catalyst. I'm going to be the messenger here, the tour guide, the messenger to tell you for what you need to look for in your life. Maybe it'll be a subtle sign. It could be the number of the card. I'm going to throw out some numbers. Okay, so let's start off with Aries. There's a lot of energy in Aries right now. It's a lot of energy in Aries right now. I believe Rahu's still there. Actually, hold on. Let me pull up the, gosh darn it, my battery's down on my slider. Let me pull up the astrological map of right now so I can get a really good, give me 1 second. Today's the 1st of June, 2023. It's kind of interesting because Morgan Freeman was born on June 1st. Frank Wappenheimer, who played the Wizard of Oz, was born on June 1st. Morgan Freeman played God in Bruce Almighty. He played the secondary subordinate position in Lucy. And that June 1st card is the 3 of Swords, which is card 53, which is one half of the I Am. Okay. So let's see what we got going on here. Playa del Carmen. Okay. So let me just quickly show all of you. Gosh, my slider's dead. Right here is the actual current chart for right now. This is based off of Playa del Carmen, kind of the area that I'm in. And this is what the snapshot of the chart looks like for the stars. Here's Pluto right there in Capricorn. Can't miss it. It ain't in Aquarius. In tropical it will be, but again, it doesn't make any sense to me. Pluto removing Aquarius energy, that just does not make any sense. Kronos is in Aquarius. Kronos is setting up the time period for when we move into Aquarius. Neptune's in Pisces. Chiron, the wound, is in Pisces. You have Jupiter stacked on Rahu, literally stacked right on top of Rahu. In the sign of Aries, you have Mercury, the messenger, and Uranus. Look at all this energy in the sign of Aries. You Arians out there, if you have a lot of energy in Aries, if you were born as a sun Aries, the energy, and I had done a decode on this, like if you're looking for love right now, this is the time to do it because the gate's open. Like Rahu, the ultimate desire in the sign of Aries, which is a fire sign, in the first nakshatra called Ashwini. This is like, the shaman as well, the healer. This is a time to heal your body, but this is an energy to like either get rid of relationships because you got Ketu on the back end in the sign of Libra, or to start them new. And I had posted some information on that. We have Venus in the sign of Cancer along with Mars. You literally have the masculine and feminine side by side in the same astrological sign of Cancer right now currently, and we have the dark side of the moon, black moon Lilith there. I don't get into the vertexes and all that stuff. And then the moon currently at this time at 10:31 p.m. here, Central Standard Time, the moon is in Libra. So this energy, from the midheaven is getting its energy from the root. This energy is literally like shooting up. So that's how you read this energy. So right now in the fourth house, this is not going to stay this way because these houses move, but Aries is going to be feeding Libra and Libra is going to be feeding Aries. The ultimate desire for Rahu is in the sign of Aries. So this, again, if you're looking for love, if you're looking to find a new partner in your life, well, this is especially right now because the masculine and feminine is in the seventh house right at this very moment. So like if you feel like if you've been wanting to text somebody or message somebody that you're attracted to, man, this would be the time to do because it's in the seventh house of Cancer, and this is all about the moon energy, which is all about your emotions in the seventh house of love and partnerships. It's just, you got a little kinky stuff going on there with the black moon Lilith, but anyways, all right, so enough of that. That's the chart right now. So let's pull the first card, and I'm just going to randomly pick them from the deck. This is kind of what I do. I move my fingers over it, and then I get my fingernail in there, and we're going to pick something for Aries. So let's see what Aries, and this is a big one for everybody because everybody who looked at that chart, it's affecting you right now. I don't care what your chart looks like from your birth. That is the chart of the current moment, and your birth chart's going to be one eye, and the current chart's going to be the other eye. That's astrology. As above, so below. So the Aries energy is going to be for everybody, no matter what your placement of Aries is. It doesn't matter if you're a sun sign Aries. Doesn't matter. Still going to play a placement for everybody. Okay, so let's get Aries right now. What kind of energy can we get from the tarot through the sign of Aries? Thank you very much. So we have the Guru, the fifth card in the tarot. This is a card ruled by Leo and the Sun. Okay, it's a fire sign, so it's a matchup with the fire of Aries. So you Aries, that you resonate with Aries, this is the Guru. Hierophant means the Guru. So what is this telling you? Be the freaking Guru. Take charge of your life. This is your identity. This is you being the boss of your reality. It's time for you to start being the boss, taking control. And if you resonated with that chart I just showed you, this is like take charge. This is a card of like going after relationships because it's your identity. And this is the fifth card in the fifth house, and the fifth house of astrology is the house of sex. So that's the Aries card. So sex, Aries, fire, hello. And Mercury and Mars and Venus are in the seventh zodiac sign right now as we do this read. So pretty badass. So there's Aries. It's the Guru, okay? No, Hierophant is not Taurus. Taurus is the High Priestess. High Priestess is card 2. Taurus is the second sign. Leo is the fifth sign. This is the fifth card. That's how you properly synchronize them. I know there's going to be other people that say differently, but I don't know where people get these ideas from. Maybe I synchronize them 1 + 1 = 2. First house, Magician. Second house, High Priestess. Third house, the Empress. Fourth house, the Emperor. Fifth house, the Hierophant. Sixth house, the Lover's card. Seventh house, the Chariot. Eighth house, the Strength card. Ninth house, the Hermit. 10th house, Wheel of Fortune. 11th house, Justice. 12th house, Hangman. 13th house is in the middle, the Death card. Then you go to 14. 14 is Aries. 15 is Taurus. The devil is the Taurian energy. Okay, let's go to Taurus now. Speaking of Taurus, we're going to do some Taurian energy. What is all about the Taurian energy? What are you going to look for? And again, for Aries, if you resonate with the Aries, start looking for the number 5. 5 fingers, 5 toes. Taking charge of your life, identity. I'm going to recap these when we finish them, but let's get some Taurian energy. Thank you very much for Taurus. The Taurian energy, the bull. We get some Empress energy. We get some Gemini. This is a Gemini card ruled by Mercury. And Gemini is all about the caduceus, the two serpents, Ida and Pingala. That's how you give birth to things. The kundalini, the spirit inside of you, the chi, the prana. This Empress wants to give birth to things. So for Taurus energy right now, and the, let me look and see again what the chart says. Kronos is in the second house, and it's right now in the sign of Aquarius. Taurus is in the fifth position where the sun's at. So we have some energy of the sun in giving birth to things. And that was in the fifth house. So if you're, hey, look, if you're looking to get, if you're Taurus, it's time to make some, I mean, if you're looking to make some babies, you just get your confirmation. So go have fun tonight. That's like a baby. That's like Empress wants to give birth to things. Taurus is in, right now it's in the fifth house. Fifth house is sex. I mean, making some magic, baby. So if you like want to make a baby, that's your confirmation. Okay, let's go on to the third house now of Gemini itself. For all of you Geminis out there that resonate with Gemini, have a lot of energy in Gemini, let's pull a card for Gemini. What is Gemini all about at this very moment? Well, it's the 52nd card in the deck, called the Two of Swords. 52nd card in the deck. So 52 stands out for you. If you have any correlations to 52, if you start to see the number 52, like if you ask us, like any of these numbers that are popping out, Empress is 3. So for you Taurians, it would be the number 3. If a number starts to show up in your life, then pay attention to it. On receipts, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the energy of the Two of Swords, this is a card of inertia. This is a card of like not taking any action, just literally sitting there and saying, well, I don't know what I should do. So it's a two-part answer with this here for the energy of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Well, maybe for you that want to communicate right now, or your mind, maybe you need to kind of sit there and wait, because this is typically a card of not taking any action. So the energy of the house of Gemini maybe is to think about it. The Two of Swords. And you know, what's interesting about this is tied to the Akashic Records. This is tied to the Whale card in the Medicine deck. This is tied to the Two of Spades. It's tied to the Elohim. But anyway, that's the Gemini energy. I'm going to recap these when I come back. Let's talk about some Cancer energy now. House number 4, ruled by the Emperor, which is ruled by the moon. Okay, so Cancerian energy. Thank you very much. What do we got for Cancerians? We got the 30th card in the deck, the 8 of Wands. Cancer is right now in that 7th house. As I showed through the astrological map, right now, Cancer is in the 8th house at this very moment, and sitting in that 7th house, and sitting in that 7th house of marriage and partnerships, including business partnerships, is Venus and Mercury, Venus and Mars, the masculine and feminine testosterone, and then a little bit of, taboo with the black moon Lilith, right? The little dark side. But the energy is obviously, this is a card of lightning. This is fast moving. It's tied to Ensof. So in Cancer, it could mean and indicate that a relationship is coming your way. This is the number 30. So if you start to see the number 30 in your life, these are signs. Okay? 30. But it's a card of fast movement. It could be fast movement of a business partner coming into your life. It could be a fast movement of a partner coming into your life. You could be having somebody connect with you, because it is in the 7th house it's in the 7th house right now where Cancer is occupying that. And this is the 4 for Cancer, the 8 of Wands. Okay, very quick. So something's moving quickly coming in for the Cancerian energy. Now we're going to move into the 5th house, occupied by Leo, the lion, and the sun. Leo is the lion. The lion, it works for the pride. Pride is another word for ego. So Leo is representing the ego. It's your identity. Okay, so let's get some Leo energy here. And we have the 24th card in the deck, the 3 of Wands. This card right here is launching long-term plans. This is the card of Lucifer, one of the cards of Lucifer. This is light, slowed down into physical matter, and now it has to actually launch its plans. Card 24. So if 24 shows up in your life right now, those of you that are relating it to Leo, if you're a Leo and all that kind of stuff, this is the time for you to actually get out there and start to plan your travels. If you're thinking about going on vacation, if you're thinking about taking a trip, well, that's your confirmation. And your sign of Leo is in the 8th house of Scorpio. So we're talking about power here. And then you also have Taurus with the sun there. So, and it's in the sign of Rohini, the Nakshatra of Rohini, which is Brahma, the creator god. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm here to tell you is this card right here, for all of you that are Leos, this is launching long-term plans. This is setting time up for a vacation. If you've been thinking about it, if you've been postulating the idea of making a trip, well, that card right there is clearly telling you that you should, or it's time. This is, again, you're looking for confirmations. That's it. But then you got to take the necessary steps. You got to use this as utility, and you got to actually take action. I'm just the messenger here. So now we're going to move on to house number 6, and you Virgos. If you have a lot of energy through Virgo. Let's get into Virgo here. And let's see. Now, Virgo is the last day of creation. 6. 6 is the first perfect number. You Virgoans, you're like the perfectionists, right? And I know a lot of Virgos, like germs and bacteria, like, because 6 wants to keep things perfect. So if you have a lot of planets in your 6th sign of Virgo, well, that energy is going to be utilized through that energy of perfectionism. If you have a lot of energy in your 6th house, the 6th house to me is legacy, because it's the last day of creation. So it's masterpiece. So if you have a lot of energy in your 6th house, whether it's Virgo or not, you're here to leave some kind of legacy behind. Like everybody is, but you're like, that's like in your screenplay to do that. So let's look at the house of Virgo and the 6th zodiac sign. Let's see. And this is carbon now. So we have the card of judgment. Card number 20. Card number 20. When this shows up, I like it because it's like you are having an activation. And again, this is a collective for all of us because we're all 12 signs. So all these cards that I'm pulling out here, these are all for every single one of you. It's not just cherry picking. This is it for all of us. All 12 that we pick are for everybody. Okay? And it's the judgment card in the house of Virgo. Virgo meaning carbon. It's time to level up. It's time to level up. In the 6th house is Gemini right now at this very current moment, and then Virgo sits in the 9th house of Sagittarius and wisdom. So it's time for you to level up in your wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's time to do. Let me just see that. Okay, I want to make sure I know where that card's going so I don't have to go back and forth. So that's what we got for Virgos. Okay, the house number 6, legacy, it's judgment. Judgment means leveling up. That's how I see it. Card number 20. 20 tied to calcium, tied to your bones and teeth, tied to carbon through Virgo. Now we're going to get into the 7th house of Libra, the scales of justice, which is ruled by another Venus energy, okay? And we're going to pull a card and let's see what the energy of, wow, it's interesting. So we have the 5 of Swords, card number 55. This is tied to Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And I had talked about this in my decode just last week, or I can't remember, I've done so many now. This card was in my, what decode was it? Oh, it was in my Economist magazine decode. Thanks everybody for watching that one. This is one of the cards tied to cryptocurrency. 5 of Spades, card 44, tied to transhumanism. Card 55, tied to Satoshi Nakamoto. This is sitting in the house of Libra. Libra right now is occupying house number 10, which is service to the world, career. Moon's there. It's the midheaven position. K2 and the moon are sitting there at this very moment. So this is relating to your career now. Now, I'm just going to be the messenger and tell you, this is one of the cards of cryptocurrency. And it's in the 10th house right now for Libra. The moon's there, getting emotionally involved, and it's the midheaven position. So this may be an indicator, like if you've been on the fence of like, I don't know if I should get crypto. And like the answer is always in the question, folks. It's always in the question. If you've been tickled by a question and you kick it around for days and days and not do anything about it, you're not trusting the message you're coming in. This can also mean that you need to throw down and get rid of something. And this is for Libra. This is the house of marriage and partnerships Libra owns. So if you're in a relationship and it's toxic, or if you're in a relationship and it's just shit, and if you're just not getting along and you want to get out, what are you doing? This is the energy telling you right now, walk away. If you feel like you don't want to play anymore, I mean, in the 7th house right now is Cancer with the testosterone and estrogen of Mars and Venus right now with Black Moon Lilith. So if there's some shady stuff going on with your partner, if there's any cheating going on, or if there's some kind of manipulation going on and you just know it's there, but you just can't prove it, you feel it, or you just don't like the relationship anymore, tomorrow's not guaranteed, folks. So the message here is, number 1, in the 10th house, cryptocurrency. Number 2, marriage and partnerships, including business partnerships. If you're in a partnership with a business and you want to dissolve that and you've been on the fence and you're just afraid, I don't know if I'm going to want to do, how am I going to, just what do you want to do? Make a decision. That great meme is, the road is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision. Don't be a flat squirrel, okay? So in marriage and partnerships, tied to the career, cryptocurrency, also tied to marriage and partnerships. So if you got a shitty relationship and you don't like it, you've been trying to get out, that's your message. Time to throw it out into swords and say, see you later. Fly away, okay? Now we're going to move on to the 8th house of Scorpio. Right now, Scorpio is being occupied by Leo the lion, and Scorpio right now is in the 11th house of Aquarius. So we have Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, all together. Okay, so the house is bare. There's nothing in Scorpio's ruling piece now. But let's pull a card for Scorpio. The energy of Scorpio. And number 8 is, through Scorpio, is going to be ruled by Pluto and Mars. So it's it's a dynamic, like an orgasm. It's the best way I can describe it. That's like sex magic. That's why Scorpios are typically known as like being very sexual. So we have the Temperance card. Card 14. This is the card of balance. This is actually the card that chases the pulse of light. So this represents the transverse electromagnetic wave. That's why the 2 goblets are there and the angel's holding them and he's moving them back and forth. So this means homeostasis. This means balance. And Scorpio to me represents the spinal cord. The stinger is the coccyx bone. Scorpios can definitely represent the occult and esoteric, absolutely. But it can also represent being the healer, healing people. Now, if it's in correlation to you, well, it's telling you you got to balance your life out right now. And that's going to be your strength. If you feel like you've had a loss of strength through your aspects of Scorpio, if you feel like your energy's being drained, you got to start to be strategic about it, because it's telling you that you're looking for balance right now. Card 14. I mean, the GOD is tied to 14. It's tied to this. But Scorpio right now is in the 11th house of Aquarius. So it could also mean friends, because that's your social circle house. So if you're not balanced with your friendships, if you feel like you're giving too much and people are taking too much from you, it's time to put yourself in check. Remember, you're the one that's responsible for your reality, not your friends, not your lover, not your partner. It's you that's responsible for that. So that's house number 8 in Scorpio. And it's being occupied by Leo, so it's a fire energy. So it's not the time to sit there and kick it around. This is a time, like, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Time to put on the big boy and big girl pants and to level up here, okay? Then we're going to go into the Sagittarian energy. House number 9 is being occupied by Virgo. So it's the perfection of the mind here. And then the Sagittarius energy is in the 12th sign of Pisces. So it's a perfection of the mind that is very mystical. That's the energy that we're reading right now. But let's pull a card for the 9th house of Sagittarius, all of you that resonate with the Sagittarian energy. And we have one of the cards that are tied to the game of life. It's card number 43. It's the 7 of Cups. It's interesting because Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci both have this as their birth card. But this is choices. illusions. Now, this is representing your higher mind, the 9th house. So this is a time to really pay attention. This is literally, ladies and gentlemen, this card is literally the remote control that you grab to turn your TV on, to change your Amazon or Netflix or whatever. That's this card. So if the fractal above is God saying, well, what am I going to, whose life am I going to look at right now? Just remember, when you're in that shower doing the nasty, man, something's watching you, okay? And you're in the bedroom, you're always being watched. Just remember that. Somebody's watching me. But this card right here is a card of choices. So it's in your house number 9, Sagittarius. It's all about the hermit, your mind, your higher mind, and it's going to be tied and paired with the 12th house of the watery, mystical Pisces. So this is a time for you to really look at the options you have in your life that will make you level up in your higher mind, and you're looking for that perfection. So just make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Just make sure that whatever it is you're going to choose moving forward through this 7 of Cups will be some things like use your logic and discernment. Make sure you do it, weigh it all out. Because Virgo is occupying the 9th house of Sagittarius, and Virgo represents perfection because it's the 6th sign, which represents the last day of creation and carbon and all that stuff. So this is definitely a time for you to make sure that whatever options are coming your way, you use logic and discernment. All right, let's get into house number 10. Capricorn, ruled by Kronos. Currently in the 10th house is the sign of Libra. The moon is there with Ketu at the midheaven position. Capricorn is in the sign of Aries. So we got fire, we got earth, and we got air. Wow, what a good combination. But let's check out Capricorn, house number 10. And you got the very mighty 36 card in the deck, tied to the Christ. Jesus Christ is 36. This is the 36th card in the deck on September 11th. This was the card for September 11th. The King of Wands, the King of Clubs, card 26 in the Cards of Illumination. Source is 26, source code. This is mental mastery, this card, and it's in your house of Capricorn. The King of Wands, card 36, 369. The King of Wands doesn't play around. It's a very cutthroat energy when it comes to making decisions. It's definitely not anything like the King of Spades. The King of Spades is like, the ultimate, because the King of Spades is just completely like focused on what the best decision is without any emotional responses involved at all. But this card right here in the tarot, this is a fire card. So you got a fire card in your 10th house of your career. And your career right now is being occupied at this present moment through the energy of Libra. So it's a balanced energy, and it's ruled by Venus. So it's a very balanced, loving energy. The moon is there. So it's a balanced, loving energy that you're emotionally involved with. And Ketu is there, which is you're very good at. And it's in the midheaven position, of course. So this is a time in your career right now to use the energy of the King of Wands. Capricorn right now is in the 1st house. And guess what's in Capricorn? Pluto. So this is a time to make sure that whatever you're going to do, if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking to hire people, if you're looking to change careers, well, you're pulling on this King of Swords. I mean, you couldn't get a better card to pull for the outcomes here. So we have a Libra balanced energy ruled by Venus. Venus loving, balanced, and very determined and fiery. Take charge. So again, more energy of like not sitting around. If you're somebody on the fence, if you want to change careers, then go do it. Well, I don't know if that's the wrong energy to have. Get it? What do you want? The moon's in the 10th house of your career. What do you really want in your life? It's in Libra, so what's going to balance your life out the very best? What's going to get you into homeostasis, which means balance, in your sign of your career that you can be emotionally involved with, that you're going to fall in love with? Like I wake up every day and I'm like, I can't wait to start my day today. That's where I'm at in my life. I wasn't always there, but I want everybody, that's a gift. Like everybody should feel that. Well, right now it's in Libra. It's very balanced. It's ruled by Venus. It's very loving. The moon's there. It's very emotional. And then you get the very dominant, fiery King of Wands here, which is ruled by Capricorn, which is ruled, it's a fiery Aries as well with Pluto there. So this is the time to like, no holds barred, taking charge. All right, let's move into the house of Aquarius now. House number 11. Right now, it's currently being occupied by Scorpio. So we have some 8th house energy influencing the 11th house of social circles. So those of you that are Aquarians, let's take a look. Everybody's your friend. When you're an Aquarius, everybody's my friend. Well, you got the 33rd card in the deck. The 33rd card in the deck, the Page of Wands, the Adventurer. So what is this energy? Okay, so I have some fun stuff to talk about here. So this is representing Aquarius. Aquarius represents your social circles. It represents your mind, how you think. It's how you're plugged into this reality. But it's being utilized through Scorpio. So it's kind of a sexual energy as well. It's a power energy, but it's telling you to go on an adventure. So this was kind of similar to the house of Leo that I pulled. It was the 3 of Wands. Going on adventure, planning some adventures. Same situation here. Like if you're Aquarius and you've been on the fence about something, like if you want to take a vacation, it seems like a lot of vacation in here, but trips. Well, this is the Adventurer. You know, this is the prince or princess that just got out of college, just landed its job, and they're making $250K a year. How you doing? That's the energy of the Page of Wands. It's the prince or princess, and you just landed the biggest job of your career, just got it fresh out of college, and you're on cloud 9. That's the energy. That's the idea that you want to take with this in your social circles. So it could also mean, like, if you haven't been out of the house, in a very long time, if you've been like a hermit like me, well, this is the Adventurer in your house of social circles. So it's telling you to take a leap and get out there. And your Aquarius is in house number 2, which is Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So you could, if you get out there and you are willing to go on an adventure and you say, you know what, I'm going to go out with my friends. I haven't done that in a while. If you get invites to go out with friends, I mean, you got the sexual energy of Scorpio, and Aquarius is in the 2nd house of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Folks, you may meet your partner by taking an adventure through the house of Aquarius in social circles. That's kind of how I read that. Then we get into the last house now. We get into the Piscean house, and right now it's being utilized through Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. So it's expansion of the mystical side of who you are. And let's just see what kind of energy we can pull here for the 12th house. And we get the very, very beautiful 45th card in the deck. This is the Pandora's card deck, the 9 of Cups. This is like wishes, hopes, and dreams being fulfilled. And this is now we take that foundation of energy, wishes, hopes, and dreams being fulfilled. And where do we place that? Through the layers of Pisces, which is a watery, mystical, artistic side. So if you're a writer of music, if you write songs, or if you're a graphic designer or anything artistic, if you're involved with it, now's the time to pull out the foundations and start. Like if you want to write an album, it's time to do it. If you're a musician, if you haven't pulled out the guitar in a while, if you haven't pulled out the piano, if you haven't like called your buddy up and say, hey, let's jam tonight, right? Pisces, very artistic, watery, but the body. It's time to call up your friends and say, hey, let's jam. Because this card is like wishes, hopes, dreams fulfilled. This is Pandora's box, but it's the 9 of Cups. Card 45. So if the number 45 resonates with you for Piscean, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, so it's a lot of intelligence coming in here for you Piscean energy, the 12th house. And then I'm going to pull one last card, the 13th card, to kind of summarize this whole thing up here, which is, you could say the Ophiuchus card, the serpent bearer, but kind of like the pupil in your eye. Those 12 cards were the representation of the energy in our eyes right now through the astrological map in the current moment right now at, I pulled it at 10:30. It's probably changed a little bit because it's been a half hour, but let's pull the 13th card and see what kind of overall energy we can have for the bullseye. The bullseye card is going to be this one right here. Card number 13. What do we got? Thank you very much. Wow. Okay. So we got the card of Cancer. This is the card of Cancer. Cancer's the 4th house. Emperor is the 4th card, ruled by the moon. So it's tied to the emotions. Right now in the 4th house, it came right back to Aries. All the way to, so what do we have? This is really interesting. So the Arian card that I pulled was the Hierophant. okay? Which is taking charge, being the guru. It's all about sex and creativity. 5, using your ego. What do you want in life? Take charge, right? This is a card of dating as well. I mean, marriage. But then it's, the 13th card was the card that preceded that, which is the Emperor in the house of Cancer. And Emperor is in the sign of Aries right now. Cancer is being occupied by Aries, and all that energy in Aries, Rahu, Jupiter, Mercury, and Uranus, all bundled together in that 4th house. And it's the Emperor, the king on the chessboard. So the overall energy that we have here is owned and operated by the Emperor. This is like squaring the circle. This is an energy right now of collecting everything and then bossing up. And using this king, and of course the king's this is going to be tied to the moon. So then you can go to your astrological and say, well, how do I think? How do I really run my emotions? It's going to be tied to your moon. Moon is your emotions, your mindset. I say the moon's the server in the sky, but the moon is, right now it's across from the 4th house. So the 4th house and the 10th house, which is where all the cluster of energy seems to be. There's 4 planets in the 4th house, and you got the moon and Ketu in the 10th house across the way. It's in Aries and Libra. And the 13th card, to kind of summarize this whole thing, is going to be all pointing to Aries. So ladies and gentlemen, this is an energy right now, I can tell you right now, for all of you, is a time to take charge of your life, get rid of your deadwood, okay? Be the boss be the king of your kingdom, the king of your castle, even if you're female. It's time to clean out. Like springtime's still here. Have you done your spring cleaning? Have you done your spring cleaning of the clothes you don't wear anymore? Have you done the spring cleaning of the friends you shouldn't be hanging out with anymore because they're deadwood? Have you got rid of that toxic relationship? Have you cleaned up the way you eat your food? This is taking control of your kingdom. All that energy right there. A lot of you need to get out and mingle. That's what I see here. A lot of mingling, dating. And then there was the 5 of Swords in house number 7, which is, marriage and partnerships. So for some of you, not everybody, of course, this is general, but for some of you, all you're looking for is that trigger. This was in the 7th house, which is right now being operated through Cancer, which is, the heart, like love. And you got masculine, feminine, Mars, and Venus there with, the taboo of Black Moon Lilith. But for some of you, if you have a shit relationship or a toxic relationship, I know you're like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm, if you're codependent, you got to recognize that and acknowledge that. And then you got to make the moves and use some utility to get out of that codependency. But first you got to admit it. Some of you are in relationships because you rely on your partner and you feel like you have no options, but you really want to walk away. I mean, these cards they form a symbiotic relationship. Hold on, let me just... So we have these two. We had the Hierophant and the 5 of Swords. So the 1st house of Aries taking charge is, your sexuality and all that stuff. But in the 7th house across the way was like a lot of you need to leave, abandon, get rid of your relationships. You don't want to play anymore, but you're too scared because you don't know what life would look like on the other side. I get it. But I mean, what do you got to lose? You're not going to die. That's the cool thing. You may struggle a little bit, but you're not going to die. Just got to have the courage and faith to do it. So that's what I got for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I see some vacations. I see people, social circles, taking some leaps of faith on like, hey, I'll go on that vacation. Or, yeah, I'll take that trip. Or I'll go hang out with the fellas or the girls. Or I'll go do that poker night. Or I'll go do that girls night. Or I'll go on that date. Or I'll do this. Or I mean, I see a lot of, it's time to get out there and move. A wedding planning business. Yeah, there you go. Hard to get out of hermit mode when it's cozy and comfortable. I get it. I totally get it. All right. Well, I hope that helps some of you. That was fun. Probably start doing these more often because they're easy and it's fun. All right, well, I guess we kind of went way off topic. Besides, I've been going for 2 hours now. I think I'm going to end this transmission. From JFK to reading the 12 zodiac signs. Didn't plan that, but all right. So I got one more thing. Let me just see something. Okay. So here's my last gift to all of you that I'm gonna throw at you just randomly because I want to. So as some of you know, I launched a apparel merchandise store called Cosmic Sugar Store, and cosmicsugar.store. That's the website, cosmicsugar.store. And if you want to support this channel, that's one of the ways that you can do that. And you know, all the t-shirts, like a lot of the logos, all the logos I've come up with, I created them all myself, and I literally own every single t-shirt except for a few, the ladies ones, because I don't have I own every single t-shirt that is sold on the website. So I know how good the quality is, the material. I've priced them like Walmart pricing. I don't have them like super sky high, because I wanted everybody to get a chance to wear the memes and the graphics that I've created, and they're fun. So thanks everybody that has ordered. Gotten them all over the world now, so it's amazing to see that. You got the smiley faces, we got the watcher shirts, we got gratitude junkie, we got pretending to be human, vintage human. I got some really cool logos and memes in there. So if you want to support this channel, that is one way you can do it. If you're in the United States, if you spend $50 or more, you get free shipping. So that's a little bit of a bonus. Okay. But they're really good quality t-shirts. Trust me, I stand by them. Like I said, I own every single one. I've hand selected them all, and I know exactly the quality of them, how they wash, how they dry. I have two different types. I have a vintage, which is a little bit more the little bit more expensive, and then I have the classic. The one I'm wearing right here is a classic. Okay, the materials are pretty much all of them are pre-shrunk. There's a few that may shrink in the dryer, but not to the extreme of what pre-shrunk should be. But they're all great quality. If you want like a softer fit, then go with the vintage. The classics are a little bit more stiffer, but these are still really good quality. Like I said, I own them all, so I know how good they are, and I wouldn't put them up there. I got coffee mugs as well with a lot of the logos. If you want to send, they're not expensive. I got trucker hats. The coffee mugs are like $13. So this is a way to support this community. And so my gift to somebody here today, and I've done this once before, I want to buy somebody a t-shirt. So the way this is going to go is you're going to have to email me. Now listen up, okay? Because if you don't do it this right way, you won't be included in this raffle, if you will, okay? So you're going to have to email me. Not yet. But when I tell you to do so, when you can start, you guys can start. But the email is decodeyourreality@gmail.com. That's the email. And you're going to put in the title of the email, contest. If you do not put contest and put it in all capital letters, if you do not put it in there, you will be disqualified. I'm very fickle on this because I have a lot of emails coming in and I need to see what I need to see to get everybody and get a correct count. Okay? So what I'm looking for is the 27th person to email me. That's what I just randomly picked, 27. Okay? So you got to decode your reality at Gmail, put in the heading contest. You don't have to put anything else. And then if you're the 27th person to email me, you will win a free t-shirt. I will send it to you directly. Obviously you're going to have to give up your address. I'm not going to stalk you, but I mean, even if you order from the website, you got to put your address on there anyway. These are print on demand, so I'm not sending them from Mexico. But I'm going to personally buy it myself and I'm going to send it to you. You can pick any t-shirt you want. If you want to get a mug, I'll do the mug, but any t-shirt you want, it's yours. Just one. Okay. And this is my gift to everybody, these are fun. I just think they're fun and I want to give back more. And it just, I want to get these logos out there and just people start having fun with this reality and realize that, making lemonade out of this reality is really all that matters. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So you can start, like I said, I'm doing this like the radio. Okay. The 10th caller, when do I call? I've done those. Should I call now? Should I wait 10 minutes? Somebody's going to be the first person to email, right? And they don't think that. But again, so the 27th person to email me will get the free item, whether it's a t-shirt, coffee mug, trucker hat, whatever. And then obviously you're going to have to supply your address and I'll ship it out to you. You'll have it within probably, 7 to 10 days. Sometimes sooner than that. But only in the U.S. right now, okay? If you're out of the U.S. right now, it wouldn't qualify for you. I apologize if you're somewhere other than the U.S. right now. This is just only for the United States. I will be having more contests where I'll have them internationally. But right now, because my shipping's not set up for all the countries right now, so I'm kind of a little bit behind on that. So that's why I can't offer it to everybody. If those of you that are maybe in the UK or Germany or Japan or wherever you're at, okay? All right. So you guys can start emailing whenever you want. 27th person to email me. Got to write in the word in the title, contest. And if you don't hear back from me, you didn't win. Obviously, if you hear back from me, well, then I'm going to ask you for your address and then we'll get the party started. So when you get an email back from me, I will, I'll notify you as the winner, and then you can start shopping and pick out whatever item you want. We'll go back and forth via email, and we'll get it out to you. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's all I got. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys in Australia. I will be doing these worldwide sooner or later, but for right now, U.S. only. This sounds like a setup. No, there's no catch. Just no catch. I actually like the mugs. I like the mugs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate all your support. I can go on for hours and hours and hours, but we're gonna end this now. I appreciate all of you for showing up, bearing with me through the big grand mistake that I made with the Queen of Hearts card. But I'm glad somebody caught that. That was actually so amazing that somebody caught that, because I probably would have deleted the video, because I don't want to have errors in there. I mean, I got errors throughout the course of my decodes. There's a lot of errors in I make mistakes. But I'm glad we were able to correct it, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's kind of end this off where we started and why I played this song, one of my favorite songs of all time, because that's right, everybody wants to rule the world. I may do a decode on this because it's such a special song. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. Thanks for joining in. Let's talk about the JFK assassination. Until next time, we will see you later.